Welcome to the Power Factor Show, episode 107.
All right, welcome to Power Factor. I'm Larry, and I am standing here in my poorly lit garage preparing for a match tomorrow, and we'll talk about that in a minute. We've got one piece of business to take care of, which is a trivia question that is pretty old at this point. You know, we shot a number of episodes back to back to back, about 5 episodes within 7 days. And so episode 100, where I asked a trivia question, never got answered because we were still within our 1 week period where answers were coming in. And we had recorded 3 episodes, and then we recorded a couple more episodes, and so now here we are at 107, I believe it's going to be, and I finally have an answer for a trivia question from episode 100. So that's when I was on my own, and I asked the question, and here's how I phrased the question. First of all, I said, you got a steel popper, and your bullet, you got an edge hit. And that bullet hit the edge of the popper, and part of that bullet continued on to hit a no-shoot, I believe it was, the way it was phrased. So, and does that count for score or not? That was the question, and that's kind of the way I worded it, was you got an edge hit, and I made a bullet shape on the edge of a target, right? And then I said, I also remember saying that you kind of have a little ragged hole. Now that was some obfuscation on my part to kind of throw you guys off a little, and that really worked. So we got a whole lot of wrong answers, actually. A lot of people said, oh, that's splatter. It doesn't count because it's splatter. And we had 3 right answers, kind of, sort of. And not really sure what to do about that. I think we're just going to throw the question out because we got, you know, so many wrong answers. So I would say maybe it's my fault for asking the question incorrectly or that it wasn't clear. So the rule on that is, let's see here, 9.1.5.3. 9.1.5 is the chapter or the section that deals with targets being impenetrable, and it says if a bullet strikes wholly within a paper target and goes on to hit another paper target or a steel, then that subsequent shot doesn't count. Shoot-throughs don't count. But there's another rule that says edge hits do count. So you guys know that an edge hit on paper, if you're in that 1/2 centimeter border, the non-scoring border that's a 1/2 centimeter wide, you know that if you hit the edge of that and your bullet just touches the D zone on the target, that it counts for score. You know that. And you also know that a hit that spills over from alpha to Charlie, you know that scores the higher scoring zone, right? And then now let's also say you've got a no-shoot overlapping a white paper no-shoot overlapping a white paper target, and you hit the edge of the no-shoot, the non-scoring perf. You cross the perf. You know that counts as a penalty, but it spills over and also counts for score on the paper target, right? So the bullet counts twice because that edge has sliced the bullet, right? So now that's the same concept. Now that you got that thinking down, it's the same concept when we're talking about hitting the edge of a steel popper. half the bullet hits the steel popper, and whether the popper goes down or not doesn't matter, but the other half continues on. It spills over to, in this case, the question was asked, to a no-shoot target, and does it count for score, or rather penalty? And the answer is yes, it does count for penalty. And like I said, most of the answers we got, people said, oh, it's splatter, it doesn't count, which that's true if it was splatter. But in this case, it was not splatter. That was not the intent of the question. I thought it was pretty clear. We find that a lot of the questions we ask, maybe we don't think them through enough, because we wind up saying, well, we'll accept either answer. And in this case, I'm just not going to accept any answer. So, because we got like maybe 2 right answers and a whole lot of wrong answers, and that just tells me I didn't ask it right. So let's scrub that mission, and we're going to move on. So let's talk about, I guess we'll just talk about the match tomorrow. This is going to be really cool, really interesting. You know, we interviewed Phil Strader, president of USPSA, a couple episodes back, and he briefly mentioned the ProAm and was talking about how Steel Challenge is going to follow immediately, back to back, follow the ProAm. And I don't know if you guys, maybe you don't know what the ProAm is, so I'm going to tell you about it, because that's what we're going to do tomorrow. That's essentially the format that we're going to shoot. So the format is this. Well, you know, so I guess it was an older match that kind of fell by the wayside. Phil Strader revived it, let's say maybe 5 years ago, as I recall, and that was long before he was USPSA president, since that's only been 1 year now. But for one thing, it takes a lot of steel to run this match. So it's an all-steel match. It's a falling steel match. The steel has to fall to score. And the cool thing is that there's a par time. There's a time limit. So whereas a normal USPSA or IDPA course of fire, you work through the course of fire and you take as much time as you need. And essentially in both of those games, the concept is it's kind of points per second. Especially in USPSA, it is your score is explicitly points per second. That is your hit factor. So in our normal matches, you try to go fast and you try to get accurate and you try to balance that out. But you know, it doesn't do anybody any good to be super precise, accurate, and take all day long to do it. So we want to run it fast and take as much time as you can normally. Now in this case, there's a time limit on each stage. Now I'm not really exactly sure what we're about to see tomorrow, but let's just say a stage has 40 pieces of steel, 40 poppers, plates, plate rack, mini poppers, whatever they've got. This is not affiliated with USPSA or IDPA or anything, so I'm not sure if there's any official steel targets, but it's going to be what the club already has, which is going to be your falling steel, which is normally seen at USPSA matches. Excuse me. So the format, like I say, let's just say you got 40 pieces of steel on the stage, and let's say there's a time limit of 17 seconds. Your goal is to knock down as many as you can in that par time, in that 17-second par time, for example. And the Pro-Am refers to, there's pros and then there's amateurs in the official Pro-Am match, which is held once a year, now being held in Frostproof, Florida for the last 3 or 4 years at least. So the pros compete for money, the amateurs compete for prizes. We're not dividing up the competition by any means, by any kind of pros or AMs, but that's the format of the match we're about to shoot. So I really can't wait to go do that. I've watched it on TV on the Outdoor Channel. I've seen match coverage for the past few years, and it just looks like so much fun. So you know, kind of the way the scoring works. Well, let's back up. Let's talk about the divisions. What guns can you shoot? They've essentially got it just 2 divisions. There's a limited match and there's an open match, and they're run completely separately. So everybody that shoots the first one can shoot the second one, and generally the limited match comes first, the open match comes second, and they usually ratchet down the par times by 2 or 3 seconds, something like that. So, because the open guns run faster. Now the catch is you're limited to 10 rounds per magazine after the start buzzer. So your first mag can be 11, and you make ready, and so now you got 1 in the chamber, 10 in the mag. That's before the buzzer. So it's all 10 rounds. You got limited 10 essentially, and what would be open 10 if there was such a thing, which is probably what they call it in Canada actually. Open 10, because they're limited to 10 round magazines. So anyway, so that's the equipment side of things. I will be shooting either one of my Glocks, which I've shown before. I really honestly have not decided. This is we're less than 12 hours away from shooting this thing, and it's either going to be the Glock 35, which is probably what I'm going to shoot. It's a little faster handling. Like I've said in the past, the slide cycles quite a bit faster, a little bit faster than this one here, which is the Glock 24, which is about 3/4 of an inch longer. One thing I've done to the Glock 24 is I've installed a fiber optic front sight. I've not even sighted it in yet, so I have no idea where it hits, although the sight is the exact same height as the black sight I pulled out of it, so it should be fine, but I just haven't tested it yet. But so I'm thinking about shooting the Glock 24, maybe the 35. We'll find out. I'll decide in the morning. But anyway, so I think we're going to have 6 stages, they tell us, tomorrow, and the limited match is going to be first. The open match is going to be next, and I'm pretty sure we're only going to shoot. A group of my friends are only going to shoot the early match and head out because I got to be back home early. But so let's talk about scoring. Basically, you got your raw score is the number of plates and number of steel poppers you knock down. So let's say in, I don't know, let's be optimistic here. Let's say in 15 seconds I knock down 30 targets. That's not likely to happen. Anyway, let's say I knocked down 30 targets. That's my raw score for the stage. Now let's say, now what about penalties? So my stage score is my raw time, which is the number of plates I shot down and knocked over, minus any penalties. There's a couple of different penalties here. Since there's a time limit, you must have figured out by now that there is a penalty for overtime shots. So any shot fired after the stop buzzer will incur a penalty with a 0.3 second leeway, fudge factor there, because what they've determined is the standard kind of USPSA competition electronics timer has a buzzer that the duration of the buzzer is 0.3 seconds. So there's a grace period of 0.3 seconds, and that comes straight out of USPSA rules. So on any time limit stage, if the time limit's 4 seconds, any shot fired after 4.3 would be a penalty. 4.3 is okay, 4.31 penalty. So in this case, we're going to be talking about time limits of 15 seconds, 18 seconds, 12 seconds, I don't know, something like that, depending on how big these stages are. So an overtime shot, any shot fired overtime is penalty, which is minus 1 point. Now, then your match score is all of your stage scores added up. So that's pretty easy, and then whoever has the highest point count wins the match. Another type of penalty is going to be like, let's say they've got, a box. They're like shooting positions are dictated. So maybe they'll have a box that's painted blue, and they'll have targets painted blue, and they only shoot the blue targets from the blue box. And then you go over to the red box, and you only shoot the red targets from the red box. So maybe they'll do something like that. There has been such a thing at the official ProAm match. So we'll see how that goes. And if you shoot, actually the way the official rules are written, the penalty for crisscrossing your targets from shooting from the wrong position is any hit is a procedural penalty, which is minus 1 point. So if you brain fart and you fire a shot, but you actually didn't hit the thing, then it's not a penalty. At least that's how it's written on the official match that Phil Strader runs. I would imagine this club is going to run it in the same way. the guy putting it on has actually been to the official, the big show down in Florida. So I would imagine he's going to run it the same way. So we'll see on that one. So really, I'm not sure what else to say. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be just some fast, just ripping out as fast as you can, and make sure you hit your reloads and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So other than that, you know, I just want to say once again, well, let me talk about my equipment here actually. So I already talked about the gun. Got the holster that I've talked about in the past. This is my Kitsap, which has been modified with a drop offset, an old school, oh gosh, you know, 6 or 8 years ago, old school Blade Tech drop offset hanger, way before the Stingray belt loop was ever created. I've got my one CR Speed mag pouch up front, and now on the side here, since we're running 10 rounders, I want as many mags as I can. This is the CompTac belt feed is what they call it, and back when I bought it, this was a $100 magazine pouch. Now they go for $130 or $140, something like that. It is essentially a double mag pouch, which you see with these guys down here close to the belt, and then you'll see these outboard magazines, you know, are clipped on here, not clipped on, but bolted on, and they ride outside. So essentially what that does for me is it puts 4 magazines in the space of 3 with what would be normal double magazine pouches of the Kydex or injected molded variety. So this scrunches them up pretty good, and you know, gets that 4th one back here closer to the front, easier to reach if I have time to get to it, which, I mean, realistically, we're looking at 5 magazines in 15 seconds, 18 seconds. That's not likely to happen. You know, I'll probably be on the 3rd mag when the stop timer beeps on most of the time, if that's roughly the par times that I'm expecting. So now, one thing to mention on this belt feed magazine pouch, this is actually, depending on your belt, is not going to be legal. This is a little side note for you. This is not going to be legal in USPSA. These outboard magazines have to be within 2 inches of the inside of your belt. The CR Speed belt is pretty thick, and when I measure this, if I stick a mag, let's just do it. Here, I'll stick a magazine in here and show you real quick. This is the way USPSA's rules are now. I'm over 2 inches here, so not legal for USPSA anymore. It was when I got it with this belt, because of the way the rules were written about how that 2 inches was measured. It was from the body, not from the inside of the belt. Now this one, however, I don't know if you can see this. The one in the back, the outboard magazine, is less than 2 inches, and so this one would be legal. So when I was shooting limited 10, I actually removed this second one here, and so I had 3 pouches plus 2 up front, I think, is what I was doing actually with the CR Speed. Now let me backpedal a little bit though. Let me not piss off anybody from CompTac. Perfectly legal if your belt's not too thick. We're in USPSA, we're talking about measuring from the inside of the belt. So if you've got a thinner belt, no problem. You want to use a Wilderness Tactical, for example, which is just a single thin but rigid belt. I wear the CSM model every day, and now that belt's so thin you got no problems making it legal for USPSA. So, you know, just keep track of your equipment. But for tomorrow, since we're running 10 round mags, I wanted as many mag pouches as I could get on the belt. So that's what I'm going to run tomorrow. What else are we going to talk about? That's about it. I'm just going to wrap it up. So thanks for watching. Thanks again to Rainier Ballistics for supporting the show. They hooked us up in a big way here, and we really appreciate that. So please check out RainierBallistics.com. Check them out on Facebook. If you didn't see our last episode where we did a factory tour, you really got to check that out. It was really cool. It was a lot of fun to see the process. And you know, I'd been down there many times, just kind of in their front room to purchase bullets, and which they, you know, treat the local shooters pretty nice. We come in there and we buy a decent quantity, but you know, they don't force us to hold to the minimums that are on their website of 35,000. But anyway, so we really appreciate them. Shane down there, thanks a lot, and check them out on Facebook. Shane's giving away stuff all the time on Facebook, so just like his post when he's putting them up there, and you might win yourself 500 bullets. We've got a few certificates to give away as well, so look for that in future episodes. Thanks for watching, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye.
I really appreciate it. Put in a lot of work, and so did Scott Hawkins and Deborah. Thank you guys for helping me out, and Scott LaRue. It's been a long match to put together.
Thank you.
Hey, not a problem.
Yeah.
Not a problem. I've actually been working on doing this for like 2 years now. So basically, I'm going to go over some rules with you guys. It's, as you can see, it's only 2 pages long, page and a half. It's pretty short, pretty sweet. It's kind of like a USPSA style match, only all your targets are still. Every stage is a par time besides your tiebreaker stage. The tiebreaker stage, you shoot until you knock them all down. If you leave a plate standing, you're adding 3 seconds to your time. Your overall time is going to be your score for the tiebreaker stage. Everything else is par time. Knock down what you can, and that's your score. Alright, penalties on an overtime shot, 0.30 seconds or more after the buzzer goes off. That's an overtime shot penalty, so that's -1 plate. So if you get a hit, you're just breaking even on that one pretty much, you know. Any hits fired from an illegal position, for example, you know, you're sitting in a green box down there on stage 5 and you're shooting blue targets. That's a 1 penalty every time you hit a target or even fire a shot. Alright, the tiebreaker stage, like I said, I already kind of went over it. Just shoot until you knock them down. If you leave one standing, it's a 3 second penalty on top of whatever you left standing. Equipment. Any gun that's legal in USPSA production, limited 10, single stack, or IDPA, SSP, ESP, or CDP is legal for the limited division match. Open division, the open gun, and any of the guns I mentioned before are legal for the open match. The mag capacity is 10 rounds per mag after the buzzer. If you have more than 10 rounds in your mag, you will zero that stage. Your holster, belt, and mag pouch, any holster that safely retains the pistol and covers the trigger guard is legal. Any USPSA, IDPA legal holster, belt, pouches, etc. The holsters must be positioned according to USPSA and IDPA rules. No shoulder cross-draw holsters are allowed. Anybody have a shoulder or cross-draw holster here? Alright, perfect. Mag pouches, you can place them anywhere you want them on your belt. Alright. When you go around the stages, you'll see some caution tape out there. You cannot shoot over, under, or through the caution tape. It is an automatic match DQ. For some of these stages, it's safety reasons, because some of that steel is really close. So that's why I had the tape there. Do not shoot over, under, or through it. Same thing with stage 6. I'm going to kind of go over the stages with you guys too, so you're not confused.
There we go. All right. Stage 1. We've got 20-second par time. You start downrange with your toes on the marks.
TJ, it's in his bag.
There is a activator pad for the Polish plate rack you see down there, which gets it swinging. The activator is not in the shooting area, and you're going to work your way uprange while engaging targets from the lanes designated by the caution tape. finished unload so clear.
All right, this is stage 2. You start downrange by the barrel, hands at sides, shoot them as you see them. You got a plate rack from position 1, position 2, got a dueling tree, a couple of other plate popper, small mini tiny popper there. Position 3, a lot of plates, couple of poppers, and position 4, 5 poppers. Time limit is 19 seconds, and I doubt I'll make it back to here. I'm going to leave it there. I'll never get back that far. Not in 19 seconds. Hands aside?
Yes. Are you ready? Stand by.
All right, stage 3. Start outside the box, the toes on the mark.
Changing gun.
Shoot them as you see them. Red plates are a -3 point penalty. You got 3 poppers from the right side of the wall, Texas Star from the left side of the wall, and several plate racks back there. About 5 rows of plate racks with red plates scattered throughout. It's going to be good.
Stand by.
The first shooter.
Okay, this is stage 4. Start behind the barrel.
What's the part time?
Part time's 19 seconds.
Larry, then Troy. Don't shoot. Hostage coming out. Larry, Troy, Charles are the first 3. 1900. Yep. Shooter ready. Stand by. All right, nicely done. If you're finished, look. Shooter ready. Stand by. Nicely done. If you're finished, unload, show clear, SC clear, slide forward to use holster. All right. Okay, real quick intro. This is stage 5. As you see, there's colored poppers, colored steel, and the colored boxes. So they're engaged from the respective colored boxes, like we talked about in the intro. So in this case, the big poppers are shot from outside the boxes, and the which unlocks the box once you get all the big poppers down, and then you can get into the box and shoot all the little stuff, the plates, the small poppers, etc. It's 32 rounds and a par time of 24 seconds.
But there's 2 yellow though.
3 steel there.
Are you ready? Stand by.
There's 2 yellow balls.
Okay, this is the tiebreaker stage, stage 6. All shots are fired from the box, and there are 25 steel plates, and you shoot them until they're all down. And then we record the time. So you just keep going till they're all down. If you leave any plate standing, it's a 3-second penalty. So if there's a tie at the end of the match, this will be used as a tiebreaker.
Are you ready? Stand by. Stand by. Clear, clear, slide forward, hammer down, and holster. Range is clear. Time is 2940.
All right, guys, well, the match is over. Thanks for watching. We had a ton of fun. Hopefully you enjoyed watching all the videos that we shot today. I got to borrow our producer's hat cam and used it to best my ability. I haven't even seen the videos yet, so hopefully they're good. And, you know, I got to say, if you ever have a chance to shoot a match like this, do it. Absolutely do it. It was a ton of fun. I mean, you know, it's not very often you get a chance to do something like this, where one club has so much steel that they could put on a match like this. We had 6 stages, you know, 30, 40 plus 45 pieces of steel on each stage, time limits of, oh, I don't know, they were 17 seconds up to 22 seconds, something like that. And that par time, that time limit, really you know, gets you rushing your shots. And you know, I would love to do it again. It's just such a ton of fun. It really adds, that time limit adds so much pressure, and you're thinking, oh man, can I get these last couple shots off before that timer beeps? So that was exciting. That was fun. It was a little different. So so you're probably wondering, which gun did I shoot? I know I was talking about the Glock 35, Glock 24. Actually, I shot both. We stuck around for the second match because the first one we got wrapped up quickly enough. We started at 9, and by, let me think about that, it was 11:30, now it was about noon that we were completely done with the limited match, and there was about 50 some odd shooters, I would guess. And so we thought, okay, well, you know, there's a lot of people that are going to go home and not shoot the open match. There's going to be fewer shooters. We can get through it that much faster. So it's like, yeah, we got time. So we stuck around. So I shot the Glock 35 in the limited match, and I switched over to the Glock 24 for the open match just to see what I could do against the open division guys with their optics and compensators and all that stuff. And there were several people that did stick around like I did and shoot their iron-sighted guns just to do it again, because, you know, when else do we get the opportunity? So, and we wrapped up that open match, gosh, I think in an hour, something like that. We shot all 6 stages in an hour. There was only like 6 people on a squad, and we just get through as quick as we could. So it was lots and lots of fun. So hopefully, like I say, you enjoyed watching it.
And you know, we want you to get out there and try it. And maybe you don't have a Pro-Am in your neck of the woods. If you live in frost-proof Florida, put that on your calendar. If you live, well, you know, anywhere near frost-proof Florida, of course. If you can get there this summer, check ProAmShooting.com, and Phil Strader, the USPSA president, runs that match, and it's sometime this summer, so check the calendar on that. In the meantime, you know, if you don't have access to a Pro-Am style match like this one, get out there, shoot some Steel Challenge, shoot some USPSA, IDPA, just get out there and try it. You know, we have a lot of viewer comments. People write in and say, you know, we really enjoy your show, we love the tips, you know, you guys are entertaining, I guess, and there's a lot of appreciation that we hear. But then some viewers follow up and say, but I'm not into competition shooting, or I haven't started yet. I've been watching your show since the beginning, or once I found you, I've gone back to watch all 100 episodes, and you know, really enjoy it. But I'm really not into competition shooting because I'm not there yet. I don't feel like my skill levels I'm not ready for that yet. And the truth is, you're not going to get ready for it by going to a square range, by going to a public range and shoot at one static target where they've got rules of 1 round per second, no drawing from a holster, and it's, sure, you're still shooting the gun, but it's a totally different skill set. And if you're interested in, if you think this looks like fun, and believe me it is, you just need to try it out. Just contact your local club, go and watch a match your first time around. You know, you'll be welcome to watch a match and ask any questions that you might have, and you'll soon find that you're not going to go to the public range anymore and just shoot static targets. Competition is so much more fun, and that's just that's why we do what we do. We're encouraging you guys to try it out. We're teaching you how to do it. We're lowering those perceived barriers to entry so that hopefully you'll get out there and try it. So now I want to, so you know, thanks again. That kind of wraps up this episode of the Pro-Am style shoot that we had here at the Kitsap Rifle and Revolver Club. Now, one last piece of business is last week's trivia question was from the Rainier Ballistics Tour, and I asked the question, how many different styles, profiles, weights, how many total different bullets can you buy in the 40 caliber variety from Rainier Ballistics? That was to, you know, encourage you to go drive some traffic to their website, check them out, and if you did that, if you went to their website, you would find that the answer was 8. Now, we got some different answers. Now, you'll notice that we took a picture of a display they had showing all these different bullets, right? And so we had some viewers look at that screenshot, which was right after I asked the question, and there was 11 different 40 caliber bullets on there, and that's because they don't currently make the 200 grain, so and when they once did. So if you go to the website, you're not going to see any 200 grain 40 caliber bullets. So the second answer we would accept is 11, because they had 3 different styles of 200 grain, I believe, is how we got to 11. So anyone that answered 8 or 11, we took your answer as being correct. We also had some viewers go to Midway USA and find those 200 grain bullets and kind of count them up from there too, so that was fine. And so like I say, the correct answers were 8 or 11. We got a ton of correct answers. We went to random.org again, and the 14th person that entered was Eric Leopold. And Eric, you're going to get a Rainier Ballistics certificate for 500 bullets of your choice. So congratulations. Thanks for playing. Thanks for watching. As usual, email us any questions, comments. Email your trivia question answers to our email address, powerfactorshow@gmail.com. Check us out on our website at powerfactorshow.com or on Facebook at facebook.com/powerfactorshow, and of course YouTube, Power Factor Show. Thanks a lot, guys.